Hello everyone, my name is Donelli Hernandez and I'm an early childhood educator. Today, I want to bring awareness of how we can discipline our children in school and how we can help parents discipline the children at home. When we are correcting a child at school or at home, have you ever told a child you're in timeout because you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing? Or because they're misbehaving in the class? Sometimes we use management strategies that can help build a strategy to deal with that behavior that you don't want to be happening in the class. Well, today I want to talk to you about conscious disciplines and how it can help educators and parents to find other ways to discipline, other ways to regulate themselves to help children discipline themselves. I was in a position that I had to correct a child because it was showing a behavior that I did not want in the classroom. And it got to a point that I could not deal with that behavior no more. I disciplined the child with what we call traditional disciplines, where I walk away, ignore the child, and let the child deal with the behavior by himself. It's still controlling my emotions and my frustration that shows more. I could do more to help the child regulate himself to a place where she or he could come down and talk about how to deal with their behavior. So we ask ourselves, what is conscious disciplines? According to a new research by Keller in 2020, conscious discipline is a caregiving philosophy that teaches adults to regulate their emotions so that they can help kids to do the same. It gives parents a blueprint for overriding the body nature response of stress so that they can respond to a conflict with rational thinking and problem solving, able to stop themselves from reacting out of impulse or traditional. Parents are able to approach a child outbursts from a more rational place. Conscious discipline is all about connection rather than punishment. One thing to think about conscious discipline is that we lead with building a relationship with our children and not by giving the child a consequence. Building a relationship with the children will build a trust that the child will willing to accept a consequence for their behavior. So let me take you through my scenario. Let's say Joe wants to play in block area and he sees a friend taking a toy out of his friend. Both children start talking each other because they want the same toy. The teacher approached, knowing that the teacher was already frustrated and is showing to his emotions, he tends to tell Joe, who's showing the behavior, whoever take the toy, to tell Joe to give back the toy. Joy do not want to give back the toys away. So what we can do? The teacher was frustrated. The teacher did not want to do nothing, so grab the boy and put him in timeout. By using caution discipline, the teacher should be able to step back and work with the child by regulating her emotions and to help the child regulate their emotion too. According to a new research by Nelson in 2020, stating in order to do best help our children with conscious disciplines approach, we need to do the work on ourselves and our emotion first. Teachers, parents, adults need to regulate the emotion before dealing with the behavior. Conscious discipline is not just how we can help the children regulate themselves, but it's help educators and parents to learn to regulate themselves and to think that conscious discipline is another way to discipline a child and not punishment a child. We need to be aware that when a child misbehaves, it's because the child is calling for help. Children at a young age, they do not know how to use the words. They use actions to communicate with people. Researchers have stated that conscious discipline will help teachers to integrate social emotional learning discipline and self-regulate so they can spend less time policing behaviors and more time teaching vital life skills. So let's go back to the scenario that I just talked earlier before about Joe taking the toy and not being able to resolve the problem in finding a way to share the toy. We know that the teacher used, well, traditional discipline where you can take the child away, put them in timeout. But what about if we use conscious disciplines? What about if the teacher can regulate themselves first before dealing with the behavior? What are ways that a teacher should do to resolve a problem? Well, conscious discipline is about dealing with all those questions. Let's go and talk about how we can help little Joe resolve his problem and how little Joe can give the toy back. As a teacher, as an educator, the way that I will approach to a child will be getting close to a child, get to the child's eyes, and try to listen to the child's needs. Maybe if both childs want the same toy, can they find a solution to resolve the problem? If I come in really angry, well, the child will not come in angry, and he will get more frustrated. But if I come with a calm way to resolve the problem, guess what? We'll find a solution to a problem and not a punishment to the problem. We know that conscious discipline approach has been introduced in so many places, but few people know what it is. I'm just talking about the tip of what conscious discipline it is. I want you to go and look and think about how we can discipline our children and how our emotions can become part of the child while disciplining a child. How emotion can be part of the problems. Do you want your students to continue to show behaviors that are not wanted? Or do you want your students to learn how to regulate themselves and to make better choices at school or at home? So let's think about how conscious discipline approach is the early childhood setting will help create a community in the classroom that will help support students' social emotionals and enhance learning social problems. Thank you for listening. This is Donel Hernandez. I hope you like my speech.